Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 26 of Breakfast of Champions. New year, new us, and a new Nintendo Switch. What is going on? Happy 2023. What's going on, dudes?
Oh, nothing much.
Nothing, dude.
New year, new us, new Nintendo Switch, eh?
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch. That's exciting. Then we'll talk about that later, though, right?
Yeah. Let's talk about where we've been. We've had some significant time off, and by significant, I mean like 2 weeks. What's been going on?
2 weeks off from the pod. 2 weeks off from the pod. I was really worried we weren't going to get back to the regularity of it. Like I was like, oh man, it's gotta come back. I gotta move the mic. Sorry about that noise. But it was all up. It was way too far down. I was like talking into my chest. But my last 2 weeks, I cranked up content. I cranked up content so hard, dude. Like I went hard on Twitch. Morning streams, evening streams, it's just anytime streams, pretty much. You can just call me a pizza bagel, and pizza in the morning, pizza in the evening, pizza at supper time. Because when Nerdwire's on Twitch.tv, you can watch Nerdwire anytime. Like that's just where I was. Like it was insane. And then beyond that, like that's been pretty much it. Hanging out with my kids, doing this. It's been good.
It's great.
How are you liking the full-time creator life?
Full transparency. I couldn't go to sleep last night and got up at 4 a.m. in panic email mode going, I need to see if I can get some partnerships going with the people. So like that's my sleep schedule screwed, but beyond that, it's been good.
It was never right to begin with, dude. Like
that's fair.
It will be like 6 or 7 p.m. here in Australia. And you're still awake, meaning it's like 3 or 4 a.m. and you're like, yeah, man, just working on some graphics for my stream. It's like, dude, just freaking go to bed.
I can't sleep. I can't. Well, sleep's for the dead and old. And I'm neither yet.
Well,
there you
I'm
go.
going there.
There you go.
Oh, man.
KB, you're new year, new you, new backdrop, and you've got a new beverage in your hand, too. What's happening?
Well, I figured I'd start the new show with some coffee, but it appears that was a mistake. Other than that, we have some new lights here because I wanted to do something different with the stream, man. I wanted to put a little more production quality into it, a little more
pizzazz.
I don't know, things people can interact with. So I got that. Yeah, pizzazz, little jazz hands in the background. You know what I'm saying? But like,
yeah, I gotta bring the jazz hands. Got to come real close to like actually be on the screen.
So did that. I know a lot of the things on YouTube I couldn't do last year because limitations with my iPad, because that's what I've been using, and my iPad decided I'm not going to do that anymore. I mean, it's older, so I mean, I get it. But I changed that. So Tuesday I will be getting a new sole work computer. So that sounds like weird. That's really weird for me to say that I got a work computer coming. And then I'll be able to get back to YouTube stuff. I'm going to do some new things for YouTube. Hopefully doing some collaborations with some folks. So that'll be cool. And then as far as time off goes, just sitting here playing games, doing laundry. You know what I'm saying? Just living life. It's good,
baby.
GTL. That's it.
Yeah, games. Tech and laundry.
Tacos.
That's it,
games,
buddy.
Tacos, and laundry.
That's me all day.
That's
me all day.
There you go. Well, you know what? For relaxing times.
Oh no! Relax.
Why not make it Suntory time?
Oh no!
Suntory.
Oh my god! I tell you what, like if ever we need a partnership or a sponsorship, it better be Boss. I swear to God. I drink 2 cans a day of this stuff. I go out of my way to go to 7-Eleven every day and buy cans. We buy them in bulk from the supermarket. I'm just like, I need an IV of this stuff. It is so good. If anybody's ever had, like, this is, I'm telling you, like, you got your Starbucks over there. Crapola, dude. We got the good stuff here.
Listen.
I need old Dot to just. Dots.
You and me. If I could have Dot, or if I could have Monster sponsor me, I'll change my name to Kyle. I'll be a Kyle all day. Give me some drywall. I'll walk right through it.
You
know
could
what I
be
mean?
one of us. Be one of us.
How much caffeine? Is there a way for me to tell how much caffeine it
I'm
has?
looking at
Do they do
225
that in Australia?
milligrams.
They got to tell you. They got to tell you, right?
It's
There's
5
no Food and Drug
calories per
Administration.
can. It's a 237 milliliter can. It doesn't say. There is no ingredients: brewed coffee, water, coffee powder, coffee extract, flavors, acidity, regular. Made in Japan.
Regular. It'll keep you pretty regular, that's for sure.
Yeah, Google it. It keeps me. Yeah, I guess so.
It's confirmed.
But yes, new year, new us. We're stoked to be back this year. I've already. This is stream number 5 for me this week. By the way, I don't know if anybody. I've just absolutely gone all out this week. I've played nothing but Yu-Gi-Oh and Splatoon.
Yeah, look at you.
So I'm back in it this
I've
year.
been keeping count.
I got to keep up with you guys. You guys are just you're gonna leave me in the dust.
Well, we'll just. Yeah, I got a
you're back.
large
You're
back,
better
dude.
than
I could
ever.
just carry you.
Yeah, I'm back. We're better than ever, and we've got high hopes for this year, man. Just for the show and personal
know.
goals.
We do.
Absolutely. What
What's the
was?
biggest thing you want to accomplish this year?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. What's your biggest goals or aspirations for this year? You guys go first.
Okay, I'll go. World peace? No.
Oh my God.
Whatever, Kyle.
I really, to be honest with you, I just want to see more growth across my platform, across both your platform. I would love to see us grow more. I mean, whether that be from a volume standpoint on content we're putting out, or whether that just be on, if you want to talk business on a number standpoint. I want to see growth, and that's what I'm excited to see it happen in one shape or form.
I agree.
Yep. I want to evolve my content. Like that's the biggest thing that I'm trying to figure out is how to expand out of the Twitch sphere. Like one of the biggest problems that, I don't want to just add another voice to the YouTube cacophony of just like, oh, this is a Nintendo thing that's happening, blah, blah, blah. Like I can't be that guy. I want to bring something unique to the table, whatever that is. And still trying to figure that out. And I would say that's probably my biggest goal this year. More than anything, is just figure out what uniqueness can I bring to the table, whether it be the breakfast table, my own personal stuff, or the YouTube sphere.
I agree. I think the point of difference for me, thankfully, is like all the music stuff that I do. And I need to really get back on that because I haven't touched an instrument in a couple of weeks. But I'm like, my thing is, and I felt this really heavily when we had the studio, just before the studio closed. I remember, don't advertise doing this, by the way. I was doing a session and I was doing some post-production work, and I was just totally in a slump. So I went to Dan Murphy's, which is a bottle shop just down the street. I bought a 6-pack of Budweiser, and I drank it all in like 10 minutes because I just hated this phase that I was in. I hated the music that I was working on. I hated all this stuff. And I got burnt out and I had to step away. And I ever since then, I know when I'm teetering on the edge of burnout. So I just have to walk away from something for a considerable amount of time until I feel that itch, that creative itch. And now I'm getting, I'm getting back into that, especially with music stuff. So there's going to be more music stuff on the way. I mean, of course, for the Patreon people, there's a new song, which is the Midnight Snack song. So if you want to go download the soundtrack to the show, that's on there. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I want to try and accomplish at least 2 vinyl records this year, and I've got one kind of like mostly done, and another one planned.
Already unlock.
So just got to stay consistent, keep your head down, and do the work. There you go.
That burnout is like a serious topic. I think we've talked about it a lot, and it's really easier said than done. Like in any career, to be like, hey, you don't focus on the result. Just are you proud of the work that you're doing? And sometimes that's not enough.
No, it's
like
not.
sometimes it's not enough. You want a result because of the thing that you're doing, and because you're proud of it, you want other people to also like it. But I don't know. Like I am very much a proponent of put my head down, keep to the grindstone, regardless of result. Eventually, something is going to stick. Eventually, something is going to stick. And the hard part is identifying that. What is that something that I did that stuck?
Yeah, I know. It's hard because when you're a streamer or a variety person or whatever, you're trying to do so many different things, play so many different games, and you don't want to get this is something that happens in the YouTube sphere, right? Because there are people that can be very vocal in certain circles, and then they get popular for that specific vocalness, and then they have to stick to that. So let's just say I become a PSP YouTuber, but I have other interests. But then I'm kind of like stuck to being this PSP YouTuber, and that's not what I'm passionate about.
Do you want to be the PSP guy, right?
I would definitely. I mean, I like PSP, but just for a specific example. But yeah, it's hard to pick what sticks and keep going. But you hope that people like you for you rather than what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah. And eventually that happens. Eventually people follow you because you're you. Like, not because of the content necessarily you create. That's most of the streamers that I watch is like, at this point, like, I found them because of the content they created, but I continued watching them regardless of video game, regardless of topic, regardless of XYZ thing, because I liked them.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think that's what we're going to strive for this year. So a bit of a, I don't know, reality check here, I suppose. But, you know, we're regular dudes. We've got dreams and goals and aspirations personally and for the show as well. And I had the anticipation bug before doing the show this week. So I was very excited to come back and feeling refreshed for the show. There you go. Absolutely going to be a great year for us. So with that being said, we've got a massive ton of news to cover. But before that, KB, tell them where they can get all that good stuff at. Tell them where they can go.
They want you. If you guys like what we're doing here, and you want all the bonus stuff, all the extras, all the meat, potatoes, the dessert, all of it, head on over to Patreon.
There it is. 3 tiers, more content, more often. And thank you to these wonderful people for sponsoring the show in 2023. We appreciate all and each and every one of you. That being said, we've got a ton of news, so let's go to our Newsbyte.
Hey, so we have there's a lot of news. There's a lot of things that were happening over the past couple weeks. One of them being there's a new Linux gaming milestone, and this comes with HDR can now be enabled for real games. Tested it, and apparently on this guy's AMD desktop with Halo Infinite, Deep Rock Galactic, Death Stranding, Director's Cut. It works. It's early. It's still early testing. It's testing its progress, which for Linux, I've seen since the Steam Deck has been created and birthed. I feel like there's been more eyes on Linux. There's been more support for Linux. It's kind of funny because look how long Mac has been around, and they're a similar operating system. And I say similar, very loose, but like
Unix based.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I believe they're both Unix, but it's interesting to see all the work being done on the Linux front to make these games look the best they can on not only on a Steam Deck, but for other PCs running Linux OS. I mean, if you can get other PCs to perform and run just as good as the next Windows machine, I mean, that's going to slowly trickle down to the Steam Deck, and that's going to get us on a handheld form factor. That's going to get us, something that looks 4K, something that looks crisp. I mean, I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, with the Steam Deck being more popular, and of course, the Game Awards, they gave away, I mean, especially for Christopher Judge's speech, probably like 900 of those during his speech. So it's in the hands of more people.
Well, Valve, because of the Game Awards and the whole speech thing, they actually gave away extra Steam Decks after the award too. they were still emailing people hours after. So they were, I mean, it's you can't go anywhere without seeing somebody posting or somebody talking or chattering about the friggin' Steam Deck. I mean, it's legit everywhere, and I love to see it because that's you know what, there's a phrase and I can't think of it. It's, you know, you make a product and the competition comes out and they do what you did 10 times better. And I'm excited to see what somebody's going to do to try to rival Steam. I mean, Aya's trying it. Too expensive. I'm not going to spend $1,600 on a handheld. 400 sure, because that could replace my consoles, and it has. But I'm real excited to see where this goes. I know there's other things, like people are messing around with ray tracing on Steam Deck.
Yes,
which I didn't think was very possible, but they're doing ray tracing. I mean, there's FSR right now. I mean, to have ray tracing, FSR, and HDR. I mean,
on Steam Deck.
You're right. That's what I mean. On a portable device, like that's really cool, and it really gets you thinking on what's the future of gaming going to look like come, let's say, 2030. Are we going to have consoles, or are we going to have this mixed bag of, well, do you want your PS5 or do you want your PlayStation Extra Portable? You know what I mean? Or whatever the hell they're going to call it. Or do you want your Game Pass to go, or do you want it to stay at home? You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that has me excited. So something like this to happen is going to be really, really cool.
I agree.
I'm interested. I just don't see how that screen can handle the HDR effects. You would need a revision. Right, because it's some sort of random VA panel that is in there. But I don't know. Like, it's exciting to see something that powerful start going to something that affordable, and also that portable.
Well, I mean, this was something we had talked off stream, Cody, when I was saying, you know, we're talking about Elden Ring and what was the other game? Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yep. Both of those run and look amazing on Steam Deck. I mean, you add all these little extra things to make that look the best it can. And knowing now that Valve had come out and said they are going to do a revision with a better screen and a better battery. I mean, let's go. Give me Steam Deck 2. By the time I get a Steam Deck 2, Australia will just be able to buy Steam Deck 1. So
I was just going to say, I saw somebody, I wonder if I can still find it. Somebody was selling one in the Facebook Marketplace for $1,400, and that was the 64 gig variant.
That sounds about right for Australia's inflation.
I was going to say, what's that, like $500 American?
It's disgusting that somebody's trying. Yeah, so here it is. So they've bumped it down to $1,200. So Valve Steam Deck 64 gig with 1 terabyte micro SD card, $1,200 down from $1,400. That thing will not sell.
No, thank you.
I'm sorry, but I mean, you think you're cool trying to resell a Steam Deck? That's just keep it. Even if times are tough, hold on to that thing, because that thing is a fantastic console. But you know what?
Agreed.
Do you guys remember back in the PlayStation 1 days, there was a little title called Gran Turismo that came out?
I do, and I love that game. I mean, even though the new one is a little lackluster, I still like it.
I can't wait for that to come to Steam Deck. But Gran Turismo, did you know they're making a movie about that? Do you know that?
I heard, and I'm confused about how that's going to work, because it's a game about like being an actual race car driver. Yeah, no, it's like F1 stuff, man.
Yeah, that's what it's like, Fast and Furious on an F1 track. Is that what they're going for?
Maybe,
I think so. It's starring Orlando Bloom and David Harbour and Archie Madikwe. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. So, I mean, they're showing some teaser footage of it here, and we've got it showing during the stream here. It looks
Orlando Bloom getting work, man. I'll tell you,
Legolas is driving a car, so I'm down for that.
I'm glad Hopper's in it.
He's alive.
That's what I'm saying, like, Hop.
Yeah, he's alive and racing cars.
Spoiler alert.
Oh well,
man. See that guy aging gracefully, though. Look at him. Look at Orlando Bloom aging gracefully. You know, that's my wife's celebrity crush.
Yeah,
beyond Markiplier.
Oh, yeah, we know about that.
That's a real celebrity crush.
So the teaser footage showed establishing shots of racetrack, number of sports cars, etc. It's going to be really interesting how they're going to convert this to the silver screen.
Camp?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my God. District 9 guy
is directing.
Yeah.
Elysium guy?
So so it's based on a true story about a teenage Gran Turismo player who becomes an actual professional race car driver after winning a series of competitions.
That was real still.
So this is the story of Dominic Toretto's dad. Okay, cool. All right.
This is the wizard.
It's the wizard.
How Fred Savage plays Mario 3 so well in a tournament, he becomes Mario himself.
California. Hey, so
bad.
So have either of you two played GT, what is it, 7? 6?
I have it. I have not played it though.
Okay. So Eric, you've played it. Do you think they'll charge us per thing? Do you think we'll get a wheel spin in there for either more popcorn, drinks, or maybe just like $1 in movie credits?
I hope so. But can I just say, my one hope for this movie is, I always try and tie this together because during the mid-90s when the PlayStation became really popular, the guitarist from one of my favorite bands, T Square, went into the video game composition scene. So he composed the soundtrack for Ark the Lad, which is a PS1 JRPG, and he also had a hand in some Gran Turismo stuff. And so there's like this loose connection between T Square and Gran Turismo. And the most famous song from Gran Turismo is called "Moon Over Castle." I've covered it. I've covered it for Retro Game Remix. But with Gran Turismo 7, they brought back Matsuhiro Ando, who's a guitar player from T Square, like my favorite guitar player of all time, for this insane rendition of "Moon Over Castle." So I'm hoping that song is in the movie, just to like, it would be like my little moment, like, oh, look at this, they've done this, and I don't know. I'll just get excited.
Opening credits. It'll be there. Opening credits. I'm calling it now. That's my prediction. Opening credits is where they're going to put it.
I got chills, dude. Come on. I don't live for much.
That'd be cool. Either way, I don't know if it stands up to. I mean, you've got The Last of Us TV series coming out. You've got Twisted Metal has been like rumored development for a long time. That's the racing game I'd like to see adapted to the silver screen. But I was a big fan of Death Race with Jason Statham back in the day. So like, I don't know, like Ghost of Tsushima, Days Gone, Horizon. Like, I don't know. This seems very grounded in reality, and I wouldn't say fully based on Gran Turismo. I mean, that plot there plays Gran Turismo, becomes Gran Turismo. Like, I don't know. I think it might be interesting.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Cody, what's next on the dock, dude? What have we got here?
Well, listen, we had some DLC leak earlier within these past couple of weeks for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, my dude. And welcome to the club, Eric. I see you just now started playing some Pokemon Violet. I hope the leak was what got you into it. But
oh my god.
But there are at least 2 characters in files that aren't currently in the game, named Billy and Onair. And there are only 2 explanations for this, is what the article here on comicbook.com says. According to the Central Leaks, Onair even has a battle associated with them in the files with Cantonia Meowth. I can't even like say all of that. And has the lady trainer class, even though the class is not currently in the game. So the big takeaway here is that there's more story coming. And added classes of NPCs to go and see, to go and talk to. And I think, honestly, like, at this point, with those leaks, and with as nailed down as Nintendo and the Pokemon Company wants to be, this is something that strikes me as, this is coming sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, I'm excited for more. I'm excited for more Pokemon. I've beat that game into the ground at this point. But at the same time, like, I don't know if it's too soon for this DLC or not. Like, my personal takeaway is, like, there are people who are just now getting into it, like Eric.
Yes.
Like my wife. My wife just picked up Scarlet. Like, it's been 2 months since that title launched, and I don't know if they were going to do a DLC path and they were going to release it that early. You would think they would have just announced that at the beginning of the launch cycle for that game.
Well, I mean, when you look at Sword and Shield, that released in the fall. with DLC that was announced in the springtime that said we would get the first wave of that in June and the second wave in the holidays. That was that like summery like island thing. Then you went to that like northern mountains where you fought through the caverns or whatever. So like they could do it that way. They could give us something in the spring like, hey, here's what we have coming, get ready. And then here comes June or July and we're playing DLC for that.
That data wasn't in the game yet, which is what throws me off the most about this leak. Is that all of this data is already built into Scarlet and Violet. Yeah. Whereas with the Iron Islands, I think is what that DLC expansion was for Sword and Shield. That data wasn't there. That was stuff they had to patch in much later. So I don't know if it's just this brand new team working on the first open world Pokemon game, preloading stuff to try to prep for the future. I don't know if it's, hey, we're going to see it come a little bit quicker than we would ever expect for DLC for the Pokemon franchise. I just know this DLC path that they're going on has been kind of set in place to keep them from having to do the annual launch of a Pokemon game. Mm-hmm. And I'm more than fine with that because it keeps their install base growing on a single product where they don't have to produce more of a new game. But I don't know. I'm excited to see this come out, and it will pull me back in. That's for sure. It will pull me back in. At least for a week.
The Sword and Shield stuff did not pull me back in. I think there was too big of a gap between, and that game was drab as hell, dude. I struggled to get through that. But I mean, like, you know, the 1 hour I've played of Pokemon Violet so far, it seems okay. It hasn't had my full attention because I was, we played at the in-laws' house yesterday and there was a lot of stuff happening, and I figured I'd rather be more productive than just scroll my phone if I'm just going to sit on the couch. So I'm going to get back to that here and see how we go. But I figured now is a better time to play it because it's a little bit more optimized. You know, there were some graphical anomalies that I did see. Some lighting issues. The Pokemon just floating just in the middle of nowhere, like But it's not bad.
No, it's not. I mean, a lot of people went a little over the top with the things like, "Oh, I can't believe this." It's like, man, calm down. It's Pokemon. It's not God of War. Calm down.
I had seen an article where they were polling kids on what they thought about Pokemon, and the graphical errors that Pokemon was having. Every single one of those kids was like, "I don't give a." I don't care. Like, this is great. Like, it's totally fine. Like, it's Pokemon. What are you talking about? I don't notice anything. Because like as a kid, you're able to kind of fill in those gaps a little bit more too. It's like that's the good news about it. Is like you're using your imagination. Like, you fill in the gaps on where those frames should be. You laugh at the fact that Pokemon are floating at where they should not be. But it's like, it is one of those things where, at the end of the day, I think they're going to continue to work on this game. I think this is the direction. Another thing everyone's saying is like, it took Pokemon 25 plus years to be able to innovate and do something different and not just play on nostalgia.
I know, right?
And that's the thing that I really like about like Legends Arceus or this current iteration with Scarlet and Violet is that like, they aren't just press a simulator, catch a Pokemon every now and again and do the 8 gym battles and you're done. I mean, Eric, I know you said you're about an hour in. What are you doing in that game? Have you chosen like a pathway to go? Did you just grind through the dialogue?
I've done the starter, and I've just made it to like the first big hub town. So I've caught every Pokemon that I've seen because I figured, you know what? Well, why not try and go for like maybe a complete Pokedex or something? I don't know how hard I'm going to go, but I figured, might as well just catch them, and of course you get the EXP share, which is handy. So my Fuecoco is like level 11 already.
Oh, you went Fuecoco.
Yeah, you did.
You and KB both.
The least
choice.
Ugly of the 3 evolutions.
Thank you.
You're just not a cat man, are you?
I am a cat man, but that, I don't know, man. Grass cat, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, total transparency, somebody's going to trade me a Charmander and I'm going to use that. So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm wondering with like this leak information, how these are like files and things found within the game. Wondering if that's why the performance is like kind of all over the place because it's so jam packed, and the Switch is like, whoa, there's a lot going on here. This is not a cloud game. We can't handle this.
Also, something that didn't click with me upon a first reading of this leak. Cantonian Meowth? Cantonian Meowth? Like, are they going to have different classifications of Meowth in this game too? Like, are they bringing like these are the Kanto Pokemon now? Like specifically,
that
would be cool.
That'd be cool. I mean, you know what I would like, man? Give us a Pokemon game with all the regions in it. Like, you can traverse the globe.
You'd have to play that on PlayStation 5 or Steam Deck. There's no way a Nintendo is going to be able to handle that. It doesn't matter what they do to a Nintendo.
You already know I'll be playing it on Steam
Give me those sprite-based Pokemon games. Give me like a Pokemon Crystal Engine game where you can go to every region.
Well, have you heard?
KB might be able to tell you about something.
I know. That's what I'm saying, because I saw the one that you were playing. That looks really cool. I would love to play that.
Do you want to play it? I'll do the thing for you. Do you want it?
All right, but yeah, perhaps.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Speaking of doing the thing, we have a fantastic possible rumor here, and I'm super stoked. I don't know about you guys, but Yoshinori Kitase teases a big Final Fantasy announcement for 2023, which is unrelated to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which, by the way, is coming this year. So in the gap where we last had our show, Crisis Core came out. I finished that. I cried like a little baby. Done. So this year I can anticipate Final Fantasy VII Rebirth happening, which is my hyped game of the year. But there's, of course, Final Fantasy 16 happening this year, plus possibly something else, as teased by the Yoshinori Kitase, who is like the producer of Final Fantasy VII Universe. So the possible tease is, and has been for a little while, is Final Fantasy IX making a return. I don't know if any of you guys played Final Fantasy IX, but Final Fantasy IX is a sleeper for the best in the series. Final Fantasy IX is fantastic.
Really?
Really good. It is really good. It is really good. The return to their fantasy steampunky roots. It's not so much of this future, like what you get out of Final Fantasy VII in terms of environment. Like you're getting the traditional Final Fantasy treatment out of that game. It's really good. It's really good.
Is that what that image in the article's from? Because I was going to ask you guys, what Final Fantasy game is that from?
This is 9. This is Zidane,
not 9,
or Zidane from Final Fantasy 9. So Final Fantasy 9, it's a bit of a different spin, and it's the original series creator Hironobu Sakaguchi. He has stated that Final Fantasy 9 is his favorite. And I totally agree. Like 7 is great. I love 8, but 9's right there behind 7, I think, for me.
Yeah,
it's a really complete story. There's a really great twist at the end, of course, as with most Final Fantasies, but this one just kind of hits you like really late game. Really fantastic game. There was supposed to be like an animated series or something that was in the works, but I would love to see this game come back. And a lot of people have been modifying the original game with what's called the Mogiri mod. So that's something to look into if you have the game on Steam, and you can apply the patch to that. They just
released a new big update for that, the Mogiri mod.
Yep.
It's very intensive to do to get it to run, but like it is well worth it because of the upscaling and everything. You know, your tweet the other day was the first I'd seen where anyone had confirmed Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming this year. Like, I was like, what?
That's confirmed.
I was like, what?
Yeah, it's confirmed.
I thought they talked about that.
Holiday 2023. Yeah, so when they had their like Final Fantasy VII Direct or news announcement in June of 2022, they of course they announced Crisis Core, and then they said, by the way, Holiday 23 is when you're going to see Rebirth.
Yeah. Never mind, I didn't miss that. I just forgot about it because I was like, it's not happening.
Oh my god,
that's going to get delayed.
There's a little bit of credibility to this. This isn't just like a theory pulled out of somebody's rear end. If you guys remember, there was a NVIDIA leak which happened in 2021, September 2021. Yeah. A lot of those games that were teased on that list have since come out, and Final Fantasy Tic Tacs. I do this. My brain just does this. I swear to God.
Oh my God.
That was not intentional. Final Fantasy Tactics Remake appeared on there, as well as a remake of Final Fantasy 9. So you guys can go through the NVIDIA leak. A lot of those things have come true.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
So we're still holding out for that.
I'm down for it. Like I would be really excited if that is the next big announcement. I appreciate that he says, big announcement unrelated to Final Fantasy VII that I can't say anything about yet. I'm just waiting for this guy though to like pull a full Eric Ladd and just like a week later be like, all right, here it is. Here's the news.
Yeah, there you go. This is it.
Absolutely.
Man, I mean, there's also, I mean, I do know the deal between Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3 being an Epic thing only, that should be coming to a close here towards the end of March. So they could
Steam
announce that on Steam. Dude, give me Kingdom Hearts on Steam Deck, man. Then I will never see anybody again.
I would actually play through that series.
The ship has sailed for me on Kingdom Hearts. I loved it back in the day, but Kingdom Hearts 3 was just like, what the hell was that?
We'll just play 1 and 2, then the hell with 3.
You
Well,
like 3?
Here's
Mixed opinions on 3.
Here's the thing. Play 1 and 2, you're golden. But if you don't play 358 over 2, Birth by Sleep, Chained of Memories, all the mobile games.
I never played those.
The 11 other mini sequels.
The freaking Engage game, like then you don't know this. You don't know the lore of Kingdom Hearts 3. Lord Xehanort's back, but he's dead. But there's a chess game. Like what the hell's going on?
Just watch the Spark Notes YouTube. That's all.
Yeah, the hour and a half long documentary to catch you up on what happened
just
between
watch that,
2 and 3.
You'll be fine.
I tried playing they did the HD remix 2.5 HD whatever blah blah blah.
Yeah.
In like a big collection. So I bought the big collection before 3 was coming out. I was like, I'm at least going to play 1.5 and 2.5. I started on 1.5 and I wanted to jab my eyeballs out because that prologue of getting off of the freaking island to actually do anything in that game was so long.
Yeah, 1 has the longest like intro whatever to it, man. And I mean like in the bring it all back to Final Fantasy, that was the first time I saw a bunch of Final Fantasy characters. And you know how upset I was? I was like, why are these stupid RPG people in my game? Like, what is this garbage? Get this trash out of here.
I'm a big Disney guy. Final Fantasy. All right, bring the show back. Bring it. Hang on, I'm a big Disney guy, and I am a fairly large Final Fantasy enjoyer. And it's just like one of those things where like that game felt like it was made for me. But that prologue was such a slog, I could not fight my way to get through it to actually accomplish anything in that game. But if I had it on Steam Deck, if they bring it over to Steam Deck away from Epic Games or wherever else, who's got the rights? No one has the right to oppress me and not let me have Kingdom Hearts on Steam Deck. Put it on there, I'll play it.
I'll tell you what, dude. If I could go back through it now, I could appreciate the Final Fantasy characters. I'd probably have a better appreciation for the whole game. Now that I'm becoming more like, I mean, man, nobody ever included the Final Fantasy Tactics people in a game. That's the only one I've ever played.
Cloud was in Final Fantasy Tactics.
Huh?
Cloud was in Final Fantasy Tactics, and it's supposedly canon. His appearance as well.
Oh wow!
That's a theory.
Not played that far. Oh wow!
Yeah. Not in Advance though. Did you do Advance or the actual Tactics?
I did Advance.
I don't think he's in Advance. Is he?
I mean, I have all the other ones now.
I need to play
it is.
I need to play it.
Yeah, you do. You gotta play a lot of stuff, man. You gotta play a lot of stuff. Absolutely. And speaking of playing a lot of stuff, Eric, you going to be picking up the End the Tears King Zelda game?
You know what? He is not. Might be because tell what's goss about this one?
Well, the Tears of the Kingdom allegedly just might be the last release for Nintendo Switch.
So
yeah, well, according to earlygame.com, the Nintendo Switch has been on the market since 2017 and may now be slowly coming to the end of its life cycle. Until recently, there were rumors about an upcoming, more powerful Nintendo Switch Pro, Super Switch. But the project has reportedly been shelved in favor of developing a new generation of consoles, and so the long-awaited Zelda Tears of the Kingdom could be the last major project developed by Nintendo for the Switch. So what do you guys think?
I was about to say that's an awfully broad claim because, like everyone said, Breath of the Wild's the last game on the Nintendo Wii U, and then shovelware continued for like months.
Well,
I think it means like first party game, like Nintendo.
But
game.
first party,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, I would agree with it. I would agree with that. Like that's the thing is like, and I think I said it a few episodes back. Zelda is the harbinger of death for any console. Because it is the signature
I agree.
game that they are going to put on the next console.
yeah.
Like every other generation has had a dual generation console. My apologies. Dual generation Legend of Zelda on their consoles. I would not be surprised at all. I think it stands to reason that's probably a fact.
I mean, just to add to that, the Switch had their announcement, like January 20th of 2017?
Yes.
And then it came out like March 6th or 7th. So, I mean, it's a possibility. With this game coming out in May, it's a possibility.
They have 2-month runway, basically, at that point, if they do it the same way they did the Switch.
That was a very fast turnaround.
It was.
Because, I mean, they would obviously have the consoles in production already. And then they announce them, they give 2 months of hype, and then everybody just lines up at Walmart March 5th or 6th or whatever. But yeah, the Zelda has, statistically been a bookend for consoles. Because I think, Breath of the Wild came out on the Wii U, and I don't know, it's just trending in that direction. I mean, the Switch is now 6 years old this year. It's time. It's time.
But the Switch just beat the Game Boy in overall sales. So it took the spot of the Game Boy on the most sold console.
That breaks my heart. That breaks my heart, but it also makes me excited for the future of gaming because it's not something that's going to stay still. You can't, something finally topped the top, It's good. But at the same time, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like the Switch has been rumored to be out of date, to be needing an upgrade. Nintendo's doing a new Switch 4K. Nintendo's doing XYZ thing that's been rumored for too many months for it to not obviously be true. Yeah, of course Nintendo's working on their next new thing. They're doing that at launch of the thing they're launching. But I think overall, this is the most tangible evidence that we are getting something new.
But we have a counter to that. We do have a counter to that, and this is I don't know the validity of this, but this might be a good way to we can wrap up our Newsbyte segment with this and then continue on the conversation with our topic. But check this out. So there was an End the Tears King Switch OLED. I don't know how valid it is, but apparently there's a pack or whatever out in the wild. I mean, this person's playing
real.
Yeah, it does. I mean, down
those
to
images specifically.
Yeah.
Those look pretty dang real.
See, I'd get that. I'd get that all day.
All right. When that leak happened, I told Mrs. Nerd, I was like, "Hey, baby girl, I got to save some money for May or whatever day." But I am very excited for that. But here's the thing: I don't know if have you guys read Reggie's book?
Not yet.
That he came out with, Reggie Fils-Aimé's book,
Change of the Game.
Yes, one of the things he talks about is that they only started releasing updated colorways of the Wii and of the 3DS when sales were down on the consoles that they currently had to drive more adoption. So, like, this is another. I know you kind of want to believe, oh well, maybe this is a counterpoint, but like, it is another one of those things that leans very heavily into what Reggie was talking about. Is like, this is to spark interest in them picking up. Because it was very cheap for them to take the internals of their already pre-existing console and then just like manufacturing some new plastic to slap on top of all the stuff inside.
I think if this Switch is legit, I will buy this. And I will keep it in the box, and I will sell it 20 years later for probably like $6,000. No joke. Like, this is going to be one of those things that sells. No, I'd probably play it because that's what I like to do. But you know what I'm saying? Like, this is really cool, but it's kind of like that counter to, there's a supposed Switch maybe on the way, which we're going to talk about here in a minute. Is this really the end for the Switch timeline with and the Tears King?
And the Tears King.
And the Tears King, that's it.
There you go. So let's transition on over to our topic where we're going to discuss the Super Nintendo Switch.
Okay. Super Nintendo Switch. This is what we're talking about, guys. So, Super Nintendo Switch. You guys saw the notification go live whenever we pop the show. New year, new us, and new Nintendo Switch, and everything that we've been kind of talking about through this Newsbyte has set up everything that I think some of you guys are going to be in that same mindset here at this breakfast table. That's going to be happening with Nintendo, and it's that they have a new console actually on the way. 1000% really is coming. Not some sort of stupid rumor of, Switch 4K or, new Nintendo Switch. And if they go with that naming convention, I will stab my eyeballs and earballs out. Straight up.
They've learned nothing.
Do not call it the new anything. You're just ruining the Switch U. Let's switch you. But anyway, so setting the stage here. All of the evidence is pointing toward, hey, Nintendo is on their last legs with the Switch. It is a 7-year-old console that can't run Pokemon. They're what I would argue is their most popular franchise on their console, more than Legend of Zelda, more than Mario, more than Metroid. Obviously, they forget about Metroid. They hate Metroid. They hate me. But I'm just saying, tinfoil hat time. Like, This is coming, and it's coming this year. I stand by that. It is coming this year. So, I've laid the groundwork. How do you guys feel? What are you guys thinking? Do you also believe that it's coming this year? Let's start this rumor right here, right now. Place money on it. Not real money. Fake money. We don't have real money. We don't have budget for that in this show.
I'm broke as hell, dude.
Oh man, but how do you guys feel?
KB, you take it away.
All right. I think if we see one, it'll be a holiday release, I feel. If you look at the way Nintendo has launched other consoles before the Switch, it was always around the holidays. I mean, just like Xbox, just like PlayStation. The Wii launched in November. The DS, the big boy, the OG, that released I think November, early December. I mean, it would be nice to see that because it looks like they're going the route the 3DS had. With like all of the iterations, you could have a Zelda one, you could have an Animal Crossing one, you could have a red one, a blue one, a green one. Then we'll end up with you have the light version, which was essentially the 2DS slate. I mean, I would love to. I could see them doing, because all the big Nintendo news always comes out in the summertime. No, they never hit us with anything in the winter.
So the original NES. Original NES was August 1985.
Yep.
The Super NES was August 1991. The Nintendo 64, September 1996.
Okay.
The GameCube, November. This is when they started going into the wintertime stuff. It was November 18th, 2001. The Wii, let me see here. November 19th, 2006 for the white model, the original white model.
Remember that.
So they did shift to holidays, and I mean even the Wii U. Let me look at that one real
that
quick.
was 2012 November-ish.
November 2012, November 18th, 2012. So they swapped it up, and I think there are a couple of reasons why they did when they did the Switch. You had new iterations of the PlayStation launching with their Pro models and their X models for the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 Pro. Both of those were upgraded 4K capable machines that were launching in holiday that year. They did a very smart thing from a business standpoint by not launching it in that same window because they didn't want to have to compete. This is their wide ocean strategy, right? Go somewhere else. But they also released it during tax return season for Americans.
Very smart.
Yeah.
So, like, it was such a good time frame for an American launch of that console because people are getting their tax money back, and you know what they do with that Uncle Sammy money.
Well,
That's not let's pay off our debt. Let's go
buy cigarettes.
Yeah, let's go buy a carton of Pall Malls and a 30 pack of Bud Wiper. But like, they did a very smart thing. This year, there's nothing iterative about PlayStation or Xbox. I mean, they can't even keep PlayStations and Xboxes on the shelf, let alone because they can't make them.
That's what I'm
saying. Switch is coming this holiday. I'm with you, KB.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I mean, all signs are pointing to the holiday for this thing. I mean, that's at least where I'm thinking. I could be wrong, and it could be holiday 2024 or spring 2024.
They can't wait that long. I mean, put it this way: there's no real need for a new Switch this year, or just in general. I think they're maintaining their software on that, but I do think that there is no more need to produce like first party games on the Switch. We haven't had a new Mario game since 2016, so that's
something that's breaking my heart.
7 years pretty much this year since Mario Odyssey. So I can guarantee that if they announce a new Switch, the launch game would be Mario whatever. And this is the talking point that I wanted to really flesh out for the show, talking about a Super Nintendo Switch, is how do they, let's just say they make so we had the Nintendo DS and then you had the 3DS, so it's like still within that brand, but we need to expand on the console. How do we label that without confusing the consumer? So the Wii U sucked. It bombed because the branding, the tone deaf branding. The best way that I think that they can do it, if they wanted to have it be a derivative of the Switch branding, would be the Super Nintendo Switch. Now, not to get them in that same, I would almost say deficit, or just a hole or whatever with the new Nintendo 3DS, because there were only a handful of games that took advantage of that, and one of which was Xenoblade, which was cool. But who's going to go buy a new Nintendo 3DS or 3DS XL to take advantage of stuff?
Hardcore power users. That's it.
Yeah,
very, very niche. So if they do a new Switch, which I think they will, because they're onto something with the hybrid portable and home console thing, how do they brand it? How do they market it? Do you think Super Nintendo Switch is the way forward?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, my fear is they're going to market it just fine. It's just going to be that Nintendo unfortunate downfall of the successor. NES was good. Super Nintendo didn't hit the numbers. N64 was good. GameCube didn't hit the numbers. Wii was good. Wii U didn't hit the numbers. I mean, it's how it's always been. It's been written in the stars, man. I mean, the Switch is doing good. The next version of the Switch might be okay. We might love it, but it might not be good financially for the company.
I really like the way Super Nintendo Switch rolls off the tongue. It sounds good. It feels good to say. Like, this is the Super Nintendo Switch.
Oh, yeah.
My one worry here, if you remember how the Super Nintendo originally sold,
yes,
parents at home said, "I'm not buying them another Nintendo. There's nothing different." Because they weren't as educated as our generation is on the future of gaming, But at the same time, it did cause a small flop to an extent at the beginning, and then eventually progressed because of the games that were on there, to getting more and more people to adopt the Super Nintendo. My thinking is they get completely away from the Switch branding in order to not have an iterative failure to say people aren't adopting this because this is just the Switch, or people aren't adopting this because they don't understand this is not the Switch OLED. This is not the original model Switch. This is an actual upgrade that is required for future proofing your home in the Nintendo gaming sphere. But I would argue if they don't want to have a flop, they need to change the name. As much as I love my Switch, and at the same time, I don't switch my Switch up that often, guys. Like I rarely switch it due to the feature that it is named after.
Oh, it's docked for me all the time.
It's docked most of the time for me. Unless I have to go travel for multiple days, not just a daily commute. If I travel for multiple days, I'll throw it in the bag. But I could do that with the dock and everything. I've got a case for that. Like it encompasses everything. I don't need to switch.
My question to you guys is, how are we feeling about backwards compatibility?
They have to. They can't, the install base for the hardware is massive. I mean, like you just said, it just topped Game Boy. So there's no shortage of people who have the Switch. Would Nintendo inherently alienate the user base by not having backwards compatibility? I mean, it's been convenient for PS5 users to have PS4 backwards compatibility so they can upgrade the games.
I think that's why they swapped cartridges, to maintain the backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
That's been my theory from the beginning.
The cartridge slot is a modular piece. It is not like soldered into that board. It's its own little board by itself with a little flex. Take it out.
It's cheap to make.
And you can put it in there.
It's cheap to make.
Have a cartridge slot.
I think they do it. I think they do it, and I think they do it well. And I think they continue to produce games. We talked about Tears of the Kingdom possibly being the final game that Nintendo first party produces, but I think they continue to produce games that will play on both, but are better utilized on whatever console they do next. Screw it. Let's call it the Switch 360 and give it a screen on the back that you can flip around and make it like a DS.
I'd be down. Sign me up.
But I think that's what they would end up doing. More than anything, I think they would bring that backwards compatibility forward on the new console.
I had another one for you guys, and then I lost it.
I can keep going. I'm sorry.
Okay. No. Okay, I have it. Okay,
never mind.
What about Metroid Prime 4? Where's that landing?
Not the Switch.
Not the Switch. You don't think we'll get it this holiday season? No. Okay.
Let me go to my old Google Sensei real quick.
He said, "Hold on."
Quickly,
while you're doing that,
while you research, if they have backwards compatibility, that means that whatever the new system is, it has to have features for the Joy-Cons, touchscreen. It has to have all that stuff because it has to allow all those games, the entire library of Switch games.
Switch Lite doesn't
to work.
The Switch Lite does not. You are right.
Oh, true. Yes. Yeah.
Do they just sell us a tablet then and say, "Here's the new Switch 2 tablet only"?
iPad Pro.
That's what everybody thought the Wii U was going to be. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
I mean, maybe that's what they'll finally make it happen to make everybody's dreams come true.
Sorry, KB, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, you're good. I was trying to do the same thing filler while he was doing things. Zipper. Great minds, Eric. Great minds.
Yeah.
So every Metroid that has came out did not have a simultaneous release on any other console. Period.
Really?
There was no. It wasn't like a Legend of Zelda thing. So my thinking was, well, maybe they do a combo release like they do a Zelda for that to sell it off into the sunset. But no, Metroid, that franchise just doesn't do that.
Okay, so then with Metroid Dread being on Switch, do we think this console gen's Metroid, and that's all?
Yep.
See on the next one for Prime.
Yep.
Okay. I'm with Eric, as much as that breaks my heart. I'm with Eric.
All right. All right.
They killed it. They killed Metroid 4 or 5 years ago at this point by going, we're going to send this back over to Retro Studios. Nintendo killed it.
Well, I mean, didn't they do that with Bayonetta 3 too, though? They announced it early and then we just now got it.
They did. I think that was like an 8-year development cycle from announcement of this game's coming to it actually being in your hands.
So, I mean, that's why I'm still holding out hope.
It's a big flop though on Nintendo's part to announce it like many days before. And I mean, like Nettis in the chat is saying, cross-gen release is a lot of work, and they don't care enough about Metroid to do that for Metroid specifically. So,
yeah,
if anything, it would be Mario or Zelda.
Yep. Yeah, I would agree. And I've never seen a Mario go cross generations except for the re-releases they've recently done for the Switch. So,
here's another one for you. For both of you. So we've seen a ton of Wii U games and some Wii games come to Switch as a remaster or a straight port. Mm-hmm. With a new Switch, what do you think they could possibly bring over from their back catalog? Do you think we'll see maybe another port, maybe another remaster, or maybe a rebirth of a franchise that was, lost to the ages?
It's tough because it's also recent to me.
True. Yep. I feel like there's not enough meat on the bone still left over from all the ports, remasters, remakes that have been made for the Nintendo Switch from their back catalog, save for Punch-Out. No one wants Punch-Out.
Still Xenoblade. That needs to come to the Switch.
Yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles X. But there's no reason the Switch can't handle that. I mean, if the Wii U can handle that and run it beautifully and be one of the prettiest games on that console, there's no reason the Switch can't handle that. I could see that happening, but I don't, and I see that definitely happening. Not just like I could see them possibly do that. Like that's definitely happening. But I mean, what do you have left? F-Zero, Punch-Out,
Star Fox.
Star Fox, yeah. I forget. But even then, Shigeru Miyamoto-san has murdered Star Fox 2 with that Star Fox Zero and Star Fox Assault combo pack he did.
Disgusting.
Well,
and I don't even know what I would want out of a Star Fox other than No Man's Sky, but with Star Fox characters.
Oh, that'd be cool. I'd play that.
Just give me Star Fox 64.
That's fair. I mean, that's on Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah.
And on the 3DS.
Well, it's
true. I think that's all I got for you guys on that one off the top of my head.
Thank you, Pronounced Martian, by the way.
Yeah, I'm typing that now.
Yeah, sorry. I was like, I'm just going to say it out loud. Gifting a sub to Big Ted and also joining the breakfast table here with the champions.
Glad to have you here. Thank you so much. We're 5 subs away from a 25 sub. What does the 25 subs mean? Like, is that a goal? Like, because I'm looking at
up an emote slot. It opens up emote slots, so we can add more emotes.
I forgot. So 5 more subs, we can give you guys a new emote. So in terms of like new Switch stuff, I don't know. It's all conjecture at the moment, but we know that they're working behind the scenes, and there's a lot of deliberation with how
conjecture. It's confirmed. We're starting that rumor now.
It's happening.
It is confirmed.
Yeah, we're doing it.
It's happening. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I know Nintendo they're sitting at the table, they're thinking, what are we going to do? Because they don't want to have this dilemma of how do we do the next one? Because they're well aware of dropping the ball on the Wii U. Oh my God. Ken's will be subscribing to Tier 1 for 2 months. That's fine. Pronounced Martian giving another tier 1 sub to Corrosive 33. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you.
So, does it come this year? Don't know, but it's coming.
It definitely is.
20 minutes ago in this conversation, I said I agree with KB that I think it's coming holiday.
No.
But I think if they're going to do a cross-gen Legend of Zelda to sell this off, I think we see it in May.
I agree.
I think we see it in May.
See, that's
holiday makes more sense to me because May, no one has money. They're going on vacations.
Exactly.
But at the same time, that's when Zelda's coming out. How could they not do it at the same time?
Yeah. I mean, it's anyone's guess, truthfully, but I mean, when does their Q1 starts what? March? Is that when their Q1 starts?
Their Q1 is February.
February. Okay. So, I mean, if you look at it from the financial quarters, I mean, May puts it what in Q2?
Roughly,
I think. Roughly. So, like,
It would be the start of their Q2.
that would be a nice way to start Q2.
February, March, April, May, kicking off their Q2, so, and carrying through the summer, which is their dry months most of the time with financial data anyway. And then you go 3 months later and they present this big financial boom right before you go into holiday. Investors come in and bring their money heavy. Like, it may make sense to me.
May, and then this is what the Switch did is they launched with Breath of the Wild, and then they had the Mario game come out around like November-ish. So you make a big splash on launch, and then you have the next Mario game, which, I mean, it's definitely happening. So that's the thing. I Pronounced Martian has a really great point in the chat, and this is a whole other topic here is the Virtual Console. Like, the way that the Wii did the eShop and all the Virtual Console stuff was fantastic, and the Switch has really struggled with that. So, like, how they're going to have to do that all over again. But now that I'm older, I feel like all this Switch stuff is like incredibly recent. Like, why do we need a new one? Why are we talking about another one? But that's just, things are just moving at a fast pace here. So
it's a hardware piece, though, and like playing through Pokemon, I can see why we need a new one. Playing through any game that creates pop-in. The fact that I cannot play Kingdom Hearts 3 on a Nintendo Switch, back to Kingdom Hearts again. The fact that I can't play that on a Nintendo Switch, I have to play it on the cloud. Like, there's no reason in this modern era of gaming that we cannot get at least something capable enough in our hands. I mean, this thing right here is evidence enough that Nintendo could do something in the handheld market. The problem is now they don't have a big ocean strategy. You've got Steam cropping up on this end. You've got home consoles cornered by PlayStation 5 and the Xbox. And then you factor in the power market, it's PC.
Yep.
Like, what ocean do they have left to go play in? They need to do something.
Yeah, I agree. They need to do something, or else they're going to go the way of Sega, man, and be like, yeah, we're just making software. Enjoy. Get your next Mario game on Game Pass.
And I wouldn't be upset about that, honestly.
I would not.
I wouldn't either. It'd save my wallet for sure. But, I was thinking...
let them make really ballin' awesome peripherals, like a good controller, because no other company has a good controller.
No.
All the other controllers suck. But let them make peripherals. Realistically, let Hori make peripherals. let me be clear.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just saw what Dennis said in the live chat.
Nintendo has more money than God. It's true, though. It's so true.
If only Nintendo and Apple got together, man, they could solve everything.
Nintendo.
The Virtual Console stuff, I don't think that's ever happening because of their subscription service, and it's actually really solid. Like, I genuinely enjoy their subscription service. I just wish they would add more to it, more consistently, more diligently. You don't like it?
Because I can't play online with you guys because it's point to point, rather than a server hosting a match. So I can't play.
Just refresh that, and then we're good.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking maybe the Virtual Console thing. Maybe they saw how much of a ball ache it was to have that on Wii U, 3DS, 2DS.
Yeah.
And they're like, man, let's not put this on Switch. Let's, maybe shutting all that stuff down will get us something close to that in the future, where they can just focus on one thing and make that at an OS level, and not like, we're going to tailor make it for the Wii and then we're going to tailor make it for the DS. And it's like, no, just make one store. I don't know. That's my input on that.
So there's a lot to think about this year. I think if there's going to be an announcement for a new Switch or a Super Nintendo Switch, it'll be this year, and it'll come out this year too. They cannot announce it like June 2023 holiday 2024. They has to like boom. You got to be like on the hype train. You got to have it out and released within a 3-month span. So yeah, we'll see.
I was going to say there's apparently rumors of a refresh for a PS5 and new Xbox. So I mean,
nobody has a PS5. Like, they're only just...
I know, but
refresh it, let's go. So, like, Horizon Zero Dawn came out, like, 3 years ago. Boom. Come on, let's get the PS5 Pro remake going. Like, come on, man.
Well, Jim Ryan wants to make money, man. He wants all your money.
Sony ponies, I tell you.
Oh, come on, Jimothy. Get out of my wallet. Get out of here.
Oh, Jimothy. Yeah, I don't know, fellas. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll get something nice here coming. You know,
Just give me a new Poke Walker in 2023.
I just want a new. You remember the thing Sony made where it was like it looked like a little Tamagotchi, but you could put your save stuff on it. Yeah, give me one of those,
dude. The VMU.
Give me one of those. Give me one of those.
It's like a VMU.
Yeah.
There you go. So lots to think about for a possible another Nintendo Switch. We're going to head on over to our wrap up now, where we're going to wrap up the show. And then after that, we're heading on over to our Splatfest # Team Sweet. We're going to be playing some Splatoon with you guys. So let's see what the wrap up has for us here. And remember, don't swear because they can still hear us.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Don't swear right now.
Son of a. No beep. Well, I don't even have my own button. To beep.
There you go. Everyone spam those beep emotes. If you've got them, spam them in the live chat, guys. Let's go. Come on, for KB's sake, let's do it.
I had the wrap up as New Year, New Us show goals or personal goals, but we already discussed those. So like that's
we kind of talked about it.
we've already hit that.
No, that's all right.
Blew my wad way too early. Asking those questions.
Geez.
What did I say?
Can't.
Something wrong about that? All right, I'll beep it. There we go. Is it too late? We'll beep it in post.
You're gonna hit Y2KB, yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. But no, like, as far as a good wrap up, as we talked about some show goals, we talked about some personal goals, but I mean, do you have any like goals for gaming for yourself this year? Not just like, and I know that sounds like this could still be a personal goal, but it's not. This is your leisure time. Like what? Because I know some people like want to do like books. I want to read one book a month, or I want to maintain my diet and only eat so many calories and not intake every calorie I can possibly find.
That is
no, it's not happening. But like, do you have any like gaming goals this year? Because like realistically, like my gaming goal this year, there are 3 games that I want to play through and 100% beat into the ground, and that is Tears of the Kingdom. I want to beat that game into the ground. Now that I know Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is coming, I want to complete that one. I will be playing that one on PS5 off stream for myself.
Yep.
For myself.
Yep.
And then Armored Core. I want to beat Armored Core. Those are like my go-to gaming goals this year.
I don't know. I mean, I finished 10 games last year. I want to see if I can maybe do 15. We'll see. I know I'll play a bunch of games. According to Steam, I've played 163 games from March until the end of the year.
Well, I mean, you with all your Steam Deck coverage, dude. Like Spider-Man, Miles Morales comes out, you have it downloaded in 2 seconds, and you have the YouTube Steam Deck gameplay like the next 20 minutes after that, man.
I mean, you gotta stay on it, man. Gotta stay on it.
That's it.
You do gotta get on that grind. Get on that grind, baby. So 15 games this year. It doesn't matter what genre, nothing new, just like anything. Give me anything.
Any game, man. Any game. If I could, because I did 10. If I could do, I mean, I wish I could double it, but let's be real.
I got a lot of from Eric right before we went live about not beating Earthbound, but playing Earthbound, not beating Earthbound. Maybe I'll add that to my goals this year. Like go back into the retro catalog and say I want to beat Earthbound.
I'm a little sad you didn't beat it because I beat it.
I was playing it on Game Boy. I was playing in the Mother 1 and 2 Japanese translation ports. That way I could then play 3, and I was working my way. I beat Beginnings.
Are you gonna
that game's really bad. I may be talking out the side of my mouth, but Beginning sucks.
It's hard to get into. It's very hard to get into. It's very Dragon Quest like. It is. Yeah. By the time
I finished that, I started Earthbound, and I was like, God, I don't want to do this anymore right now.
What you need to do is play Earthbound, then play Mother 3, and then go back and play Beginnings and be like, boy, I'm glad that they improved on this. It's hard.
It feels like eating your dessert course too, and then trying to go back and eat a vegetable though. Like, I mean, I'm really even going to want to do that.
It's like
I'm full from dessert.
It's like eating a nice moist chocolate cake and then trying to take a bite out of a raw potato.
No thanks.
I mean,
no thanks.
My gaming goals
this year.
Yeah, my gaming goals. I just try and set more time for myself to just unwind and play stuff that I like. So like I've been playing Final Fantasy 15 off stream. And now I'll be playing Pokemon Violet. This is the thing is like I don't want to ruin gaming experiences for me for the sake of playing them on stream. And I know a lot of people like this is not a knock, but like people who Crisis Core comes out, everybody streams it. But I feel like I enjoy a game more if it's just me and the game rather than like, oh man, Zach Fair, whoo, man, he's got a nice ass on him. Come on, trying to like come up with this random commentary just for the sake of commentary. You know what I mean? Like I just want to enjoy. Yeah. I feel like I want to enjoy games more. I want to try and play more Super Nintendo stuff because I've got all these games. Like I mean, I've got Chrono Trigger here. I've got Final Fantasy 2 here. Like I need to go back and finish that. There's so much stuff that I want to try and enjoy, but it's just the time to do it. Because if I'm not working or streaming, then I feel like I'm not achieving any goals or whatever. So just try and find that balance.
The best Mario game.
I agree, dude. I love that flipping Mario, dude. I was about to drop it, man.
Just Mario's missing here.
I mean, real talk though, I do want to stream Mario is missing and to play through that all the way through.
You should.
Like one stream, just do it. I love it, dude. That was my most played Mario back in my heyday.
You did say that.
I got that Wario Land and a Super Game Boy on the same day, and I was so stoked. And I plugged this in first. And I was like, "What is this? Absolute crock of shit."
I will fight you. I will drive the 1,000 hours it takes to come fight you in Kentucky.
Now, I'm not saying that. Look, hold on. Compared to a Super Game Boy and Wario Land, it does not hold a candle.
I'll still fight you, man. I will.
But no, I think those are some good goals. That's what I'm excited for too. It's hard to find time to stream, or not to stream. Good God. It's easy to find time to stream currently. It's hard to find time to play video games that I'm not streaming because there is a little bit of work to it from that perspective too. It's like I'm in this grind. I'm usually utilizing this time. Like if I have time to play a video game off stream, why am I not just streaming it and grinding that content?
Exactly.
It's the mindset that I get into.
That's
it's tough. Better to like just set aside that time.
Well, that was what I was going to ask you guys. Like, I know for me, if there's a game I'm streaming, I typically won't play it because that's work. And when I'm done when the stream's done, that game is out of my mind, and I would rather play something that's not work. And I was going to see, do you guys feel the same way that like specific games do turn into like work? Like that's it. Like, nope, I'm not. I don't want to even look at it, think about it until the next day.
Depends on how much I'm enjoying it. Like I started playing the Yu-Gi-Oh game this week. I have had so much fun. Yeah. And I could not have cared less if anybody tuned in or not. Have just had a wonderful time, like to the point where we went to the shops yesterday and I regret not buying a pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I saw at Target for $5 just for the sake of having some Yu-Gi-Oh cards for the first time in 20 years. My parents have a tin of Yu-Gi-Oh cards that that I collected. I had the Joey, the Kaiba, the Yu-Gi starter decks. I had all that stuff, and I'm like, I kind of want to ask them to mail it over to me so I can see what's in there. All the original cards. It's a cool new hobby, perhaps, for me. So it depends on how much I'm enjoying something rather than streaming something for the sake of streaming it. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. Pokemon. I kept grinding Pokemon well after I finished the game on stream. I just about 100% of that game, and I'm still playing it.
Yeah,
and I'm still looking forward to the next thing, like whatever that's going to be. So, like, but it does depend on the game. Right as Eric was getting ready to say, I said horror games, and I play. The only time I play horror games is on stream. I'm a big old baby. I don't play horror games off stream. I would rather play my colorful Mario game and be happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those masochists out there, Beowulf Incorporated. I don't know how you guys do it. Like horror just does not grab me in the way that that something nice and colorful and happy does. So those are the games that I look at as work.
Well, there you go. I'm interested to see what we have in store this year, not only for the show, but for us personally. But for now, we're going to switch on over to our post show. So thank you, everybody, for watching and listening and all that stuff on YouTube and being with us live now here. If you do enjoy the show, please go give us a rating on iTunes or Spotify. It's been a little while since I've checked in on that stuff, and I'm sure we're still hot in Rancho Cucamonga. But if you're enjoying the show, please leave us a note over there. And also, if you want to make an appearance on the show, you can leave a voicemail. Please call us at 1-315-314-4190. We don't have any voicemails for this upcoming episode and all that stuff. We've got a lot of fun things planned for this year, so please stay tuned. But we do have some Splatoon Splatfest action happening in the next couple of minutes, so we're going to transition to a very brief post-show. We're going to go off air, and then we're going to go live the next minute. So it's two separate streams. So thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with us for episode 26. Any final episode 26 sayings, notes, things? What do you got?
Don't forget your towel.